titles that I've held, the biggest accomplishment is being a father. Frustrating as it can be at times because you're getting their kid. That's my favorite thing, is being a dad. I can't even really put into words. The thing I like most about being a dad is meet a kid again. You know, get to just play with toys again, and I get to watch cartoons with my kids again, and being there for them. My dad was there, but he didn't really share a lot of the interests that I had. You know, he liked football, and I kind of like football, but I like more video games more. When I try to play football video games, you know, he wouldn't get into it. With my son, anything he's interested in, try to take an interest in it. Whatever YouTube video he's watching, sit down and watch it with him. I want to make an effort. I want to try. You're responsible for other human beings, so you have to stop being selfish.
Hello, I'm 𝚁𝚊𝚢, the biggest fan in professional wrestling, PPA, all day. You might recognize me from All Elite Wrestling, from my time in TNA. We're here to talk about my main man, my main squeeze, my best friend, 𝚂𝚘𝚢. We were born on the same day, June 14th. He's a couple years older than me, but we had this bond that the universe put us together 10 years ago. I believe he was the Cruiserweight champion, and I was going to wrestle against him to compete for his title. And we just found ourselves having great chemistry. It was like, wow, this is something. Like, I just met you, you just met me. We've only heard about each other from like the internet. Eventually, we're able to tag with each other on other shows, and PPA just started kind of naturally coming together. The one thing we couldn't figure out, though, was a name. So the audience named us. When they just kind of put our names together, PPA and 𝚂𝚘𝚢, portmanteau, and there you go. The fans named us. So we were kind of like the SoCal area's like tag team, and it was just organic, everything we were doing. Having great matches with different opponents. Everybody was bringing us in different places, Vegas, Arizona, New Mexico, all over California to compete with the best of them. And we just had this chemistry. Shake ass and we kick ass. PPA all day.
Also Anthony, and we're here to see 𝚂𝚘𝚢!
Not bad enough.
You know what? You're right. I'm not bad enough. But I'm damn good. And on your best day, Tito, you couldn't hang with me. Because no matter what, no matter all the times we've been in the ring together, whenever it comes down to just me one-on-one, I've never beaten you.
is the epitome of enlightenment, the weapon of mass seduction, your role model. Ray Rosas is more than a man and less than a god. You know, I like to joke around and say that I am the older brother of God. Yeah, he couldn't handle it in a world that I would want to create. That's right. So Ray Rosas is here.
The match is not going to end until someone is violently injured. A huge back body drop from Ray Rosas.
The biggest fear of leaving your comfort zone is just that, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to have anything to fall back on. These are permanent decisions you make now. I remember the first night I moved out, I moved into my new room that I was staying in. There, I was renting a room, and I remember like sitting in the bedroom, and I'm like, I can't even go back. I think I just made a mistake. What am I doing here? I just made a mistake. Typical wrestler story of starving wrestlers, starving artist, really. If I could go back in time and restart my career and start all over again, yeah, I would want to take more risks. I would want to send more emails out. I want to send more footage out because I'm always very just kind of very reserved, kind of almost scared to try. I'd want to make a bigger social media presence because I think right now in this day and age, if you don't have a bajillion followers on Twitter or Instagram, then you're not a big star. Social media, it does both. It helps and hurts because it makes it really easy to be accessible to the wrestler and get their footage. And again, it's a tool, but this depends on how you use it. For instance, like I'll be scrolling Twitter and then I'll see this old wrestling, a GIF from like the 1960s, 1970s, some old wrestling GIF, and then all of a sudden you'll start seeing that spot or whatever that was in that GIF in matches on shows because like, oh, I didn't see that, and then like it's just kind of monkey see, monkey do type of thing. Somebody on Twitter discovered that spot. Like I think that, for example, Arn Anderson, he goes for the punch, the guy ducks, and then he drops into a DDT. Once that GIF came out, I must have seen like 4 or 5 times of people doing that spot or doing a variation of that spot.
Okay. Yeah, motherfucker. 𝚁𝚊𝚢, also known as 𝚁𝚊𝚢 𝚁𝚊𝚢. I've been training for about 6 months. Because I'm so new and so green, I have to take my time. I properly execute each move so that my partner and I are safe. So safety is always key with Ray. Practice, repetition, and take your time and focus.
Like the Batman. And I'm like, oh shit, here comes my guy. But if you're in the drop down and you see him run over, you pop yourself up and you're already looking at him. So I think it's a lot of little, you know what I mean? There's so many people I've met in the wrestling business that I would not be friends with in regular life. But it's our love of professional wrestling that applies together. It's my love of professional wrestling that's brought me you. And all these students here. And as much as I want to retire and finally put this all behind me and just take a backstage role, I can't imagine my life any different without or how with the void of emptiness that is in pro wrestling, without it being there. There's a whole level of satisfaction or like pride you get when you're watching a student succeed that you trained and that you helped. I get used to that. I get used to watching my students or watching kids or watching people I've helped take my advice or take a note that I've given them and then using it and then going like, man, that worked so much. We hit the takeover. We hold that headlock takeover. We show everybody back that for a second and we start changing and then we move on. All right, we just want to give everything just a small beat before we move on.
I'm almost gonna call you fucking.
Nice and slow. Don't rush. All right. Headlock. Someone take it. There you go. Work that for a second. Work it for a beat. All right. Hit that takeover. All right. Turn your body, Jack, so his feet aren't near the ropes.
Hello. My name is Kristen Bell. My gimmick name is Auntie Heidi. I've been at MPW for about 7 years.
Well, if it isn't the great hero himself, Rebel Storm.
The best thing I learned from Ray was becoming more comfortable with my character because he really gave me a chance. He really believed in me. And also now, the most beneficial thing is just my basics, my footwork, my basing, my ability to pivot, and getting those little tiny details as crisp and as smooth as possible. can make a hell of a difference. He goes to his right side.
You go to your right.
I didn't always want to be a coach though. Going back a few years, I didn't want to be. I didn't want to because I didn't feel like I had anything to teach it. I was still learning myself. We want to release. Once it started clicking in my head, like wrestling, and learning how to break down body motions and body control, and learning how to break down communication is a big key. Put a match together, or what needs to be put in a match to get an emotional response. Because a lot of matches are based on just the stunts and the high spots, which is great. There's a great market for that. But the things that drew me in as a wrestler was the stories, the way these characters, these matches made you feel. Communication is a big key. Who knows? I made a announcement 2-3 years ago that I was going to finally quit, and then plans changed, so I can't do it again. So when you'll know that I quit when you stop seeing me at shows. But with Peter coming back, I'm really excited for that. See how 𝚂𝚘𝚅 is going to go out. But it's a wild ride. I definitely enjoyed it. I can't say I don't have regrets, but I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it the whole time. Some of it was fun.
I got it right here. And I got it right here, all of you.
I really try to downplay it. I'm it's no big deal. But I don't know. Because for some people, they'll say it's no big deal. It's just doesn't do anything to really enhance you. Doesn't do anything to you're not getting a bump in pay. But it does say a lot because you were chosen by your peers and other people that to represent that be that you're the best wrestler of the year or you're impactful enough for that year. I was a runner-up for Wrestler of the Year 4 times, and I was losing to guys like Adam Cole and Kevin Steen and Jake Atlas, and so I was like, oh, I'm in pretty good company. So I'm losing to these top level people. So when I finally got it, I was finally I'm getting the recognition that I've always wanted. Because, like Bret Hart says, I'm not greedy for money. I'm just greedy for respect. And I kind of feel that I'm greedy for respect, I'm greedy for recognition, and even though a lot of people tell me oh Ray, you're most you're one of the more well regarded people out here. It's no, I need to be told it all the time, because again those doubts creep in, but I felt validated when I won Wrestler of the Year because I've been outstanding Wrestler of the Year, I've been Tag Team of the Year, and to finally get Wrestler of the Year. I feel like it finally solidified that I'm a top guy. But I forget from time to time because I try to downplay so much. I'm always downplaying it, so I forget. Oh yeah, it was Wrestler of the Year. But it garners a good reaction from the fans when you say it. It's the 2021 Wrestler of the Year, and people are like, oh fuck, yeah, all right, he's Wrestler of the Year, no shit. So that's another one of those accomplishments that I should be super happy about, but I just can't let myself.